Alright.
What happened?
You gave me water, so I tried to drink the water, and I just spit it all over the keyboard.
And your
I
phone.
choked on the water, and I spit it all over the computer. Oh, okay, anyway, this is, hello and welcome to the Real List, the 50th episode of the Real List. This was supposed to come out sometime in December. I'm your host, Ellis. Oh, this is the podcast about our Real List. And you say your line now.
I'm your host, Gloria. I don't know what the hell just happened.
I tried to, suck everything that was left in the water down, and I couldn't do it. I did it with my no, I don't want your sick water. Gloria's coughing up a storm and keeps trying to give me water. This is why we didn't have this episode on time. It's because Gloria keeps getting sick or getting me sick.
You're gonna clean your screen?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not, actually. Why, is there water on my screen?
Yes, there's water on your screen.
Whatever.
You got water in your dust over there, too.
Water in my dust. Okay, I'm glad this is a long episode, because we're starting out strong here.
Oh, yeah, we're starting out so strong.
Today we have... Whose selection was this supposed to be? I'm sorry it's been so long since our last episode, but I blame Gloria 100%.
I think it was mine.
I think it was yours, too. I don't know what mine... We had a whole, four movies laid out as, we were going to do this one, and then this one, and then this one, and this one. And then we didn't do any of that, because...
I got sick with the flu.
You got the flu. I got a cold. You were sick through, all the holidays.
I was. Except Thanksgiving.
Except Thanksgiving. Well, that was well before this.
Yeah. I got sick.
Well before we were
I got
supposed
sick
to
on
make the show.
Christmas, and then it was just awful. But we're back.
Yeah, we're back. Hopefully we'll be able to, pick it up from here.
Yeah.
I know we're, again, people are probably waiting for us to get to the thing, but just, skip ahead a minute if you want. I'm just trying to explain where the hell we're at.
Where we been?
Where we've been. I mean, we got caught up with life, this, that, the other thing. Really, there's not too many excuses. We just sort of fell off the wagon, and here we are.
We just got busy. Life happened. It happened.
Things sort of, when we stopped making the show briefly, which was we'll just push it from this week because we are not able to do it because we're sick, and then stuff kept falling into that space, and we got into a routine that did not include making the show. Yeah,
see, we got ourselves so deeply into this routine, and then we so easily got our way out of
Yeah.
out of it.
But, what was it, 2 nights ago? Even, or maybe it was 2 days ago during the day, you messaged me and you said, because I was at work, you said, I think we should do the show again because I feel like watching Hamilton now, and that was supposed to be our next movie. It was our 50th, it was going to be on the year to the day of when we started the show, ish.
Ish, yeah.
And here we are. We watched Hamilton last night, for the second time, actually. Although,
the first time was with Shelby.
The first time was with Shelby. That's right.
Hi, Shelby.
Because, hadn't you watched it before?
I saw bits and pieces of Hamilton.
Okay, because one of the most profound moments in my fandom or our fandom of Hamilton, to me, is when I had gotten way deep into it, and we went out to dinner, and I explained to you, the whole, Reynolds affair.
Mm-hmm.
But you had already fallen in the wormhole because I was talking about it, and had, you told me you had watched it the night prior, or, shortly previous to that. Mm-hmm. And you already knew everything that I was explaining to you, and you did not stop me at any point.
No, because...
Over this entire dinner where I'm and he cheats with his wife, and then, this other, the woman's husband comes to him and, blackmails him for money, and I laid out that whole thing to you, and you were just yeah?
Because I like it when you talk.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you talk with passion. That is why.
But, yeah, that is a short preface to the fact that Hamilton has been a founding thing in our relationship. Also, yeah. I'm going to move this microphone. It's way far back. Sorry, everyone. It's just making tons of noise. I'm just gonna move it. It's gonna be really obnoxious. There we go. Now it's a lot closer to us. I'm sorry if it was quiet before.
Yeah.
We're really starting off strong here. From me spitting water all over the keyboard to that to technical difficulties. It's been a hot minute since we've made this. We haven't even talked about what the show is yet.
Well,
because usually we have like a Wikipedia article up here, and we say Hamilton was a stage play or a musical, but it was released on Disney Plus in 2020 because of the whole world shutting down and everything. And it stars Lin-Manuel Miranda, who also wrote most of the thing.
wrote and produced,
and he is Alexander Hamilton.
He is Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah, Leslie Odom Jr. as Aaron Burr, Philippa Sue as Eliza Hamilton, Renee Goldsberry as Angelica Schuyler, Christopher Jackson as George Washington, David Diggs as Thomas Jefferson, and Marquis de Lafayette. Where is he? Lafayette. He's around here somewhere. Anthony Ramos as John Lawrence and Philip Hamilton. Whoa, how do you pronounce that? Okaridi? Ona Dowan. I'm so sorry. Usually I'm pretty unapologetic when I butcher people's names, but
oh, there he is.
Here he is. Come here. Here we got Lafayette. Once again, Hamilton is such a pillar in our lives that we named our dog after it. He's not going to want to stay here for very long. Jonathan Groff as King George. He was just in the other room. And then Jasmine Jones as Peggy Schuyler and Mariah Reynolds, the woman in the affair.
Yeah.
Which, oh man, you were saying we needed like provocative. You wanted to come up with some provocative questions for this, which is fair because we should have those. And I was just like, no, we'll have no problem talking. Now I don't know what to talk about. There's so much in this play. There's so much that means so much. I mean, we could start off with like, what is your favorite song in the show?
Servant.
Obedient Servant. Yeah, I could have guessed that one.
What is yours? Nonstop?
Nonstop was my favorite for a long time. And then I discovered the wonder and majesty that is Satisfied. And goddamn, what good raps those are. What good verses those are.
This whole play is a really good, like, it's full of really good songs. Like, I've never had any problem listening to Hamilton, like, on my phone and on Apple Music. Like, no problems listening to it because, like, it tells a story. Like, you have to listen to it from top to bottom if you're listening to it the first time because it tells you the story of Hamilton because Hamilton is a majority of it, it's just song.
There are only a handful of lines in the entire musical that are not in songs.
In the transition from Dear Theodosia into Nonstop, like when Hamilton gets a letter from John Lawrence's father, that's a bit of talking. Like, that's
the only one I can think of, honestly. There are a couple other little lines, but that's the only one that matters. Yeah, that's
the only real one I can think of.
I've got some in my eye. But, no, that is... We are, like, you know... You're off to the side, I'm off to the side.
Well,
I don't know why it's square. I don't know why OBS is like, hey, it's...
why we're flipped either, because, like...
Well, that's... Oh, no. I had this sort of the way I wanted it, but... I don't know why the window is square. I know this camera can record in 720p in a, you know, like a normal size thing. Lafayette, please don't lick my computer. No, and I was going to say that is something that's really important about this play and about my affinity to it and my, you know, because I was not, still am not, really a musical guy or even a theater guy. I had, you know, friends who did theater in high school because they're always a cool group of people, you know, they're always a really fun and interesting bunch of people.
I can say I hung around the theater kids.
Yeah, well, like Tori and them, that whole
Mhm.
group. Um, and it was this. I got introduced to Hamilton through the songs, basically exclusively. I don't
Mhm.
remember how I started, but I remember
Sorry,
that
my
there was a
glasses are
brief period of
dirty.
time where I would listen to a couple of songs. Nonstop was one of them, and the animatics that are on YouTube, which are all fantastic.
Yes, you
Um,
introduced me to the animatics
yes, and that was how I experienced Hamilton for
because
the first time.
you didn't have a way of watching the movie.
Yeah, because I didn't have Disney Plus or anything. I'm still old. I have cable. I don't do streaming
It's
services.
okay. We borrow off other
Yeah, well,
people.
we trade is what we do because we have which one through our phone plan.
Well, we have
We have
Cricket. We have
we
HBO
HBO Max, and then
Max.
we like exchange that to somebody who has it's yeah people don't understand how the world goes around these days with media. Um, but
There we go. My
I
glasses are good.
started listening to those few songs, and then I started listening to the whole album, which is again effectively the entire play, which is what makes
Yeah,
this
like I
special.
said earlier, like Hamilton is like we said earlier, Hamilton is majority song.
Yeah, it's just the thing. It's that's the thing that sets it apart from me. Like
Hmm.
I cannot listen to the Beetlejuice the musical soundtrack and get a full idea of everything that has happened throughout the entire
Yeah,
play.
Beetlejuice was definitely more talking than singing.
Well, it's a more typical musical.
It is.
It's the thing that
Like
this is an atypical musical, and that might be one of the reasons I like it so much is because it's easy listening. It is a complete piece of media. Even what are you looking at? Yeah, it's a complete piece of media
sorry.
even without the visual component,
Hmm.
which is what makes it very special. To me, anyway, and I feel like to a lot of people because a lot of people really do like the music of Hamilton, even if they don't know or care for the rest of it. Um,
Sorry, I'm getting distracted. There's a
I'm sure
dog.
there are some old farts of the train club that can't get over the casting, but are just like, oh, it would be so good if it wasn't for the casting. And it's like if you can appreciate the music, you're appreciating the musical. You
Hmm.
know, um, it has some outstanding songs, and yeah, I mean, your obedient or my obedient servant is it my or your? I just for whatever reason I just blanked on it. No, it's your
I
obedient
think it's
servant.
just obedient
It's just
servant.
obedient servant. Okay.
I think that's
Um,
what it is. Hold on, let me.
that might be why I'm hung up on it. It might just be obedient servant. You're right. Um, you can scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Your obedient servant.
Oh, it
No way.
is.
Lafayette's sniffing the microphone. I don't know if you guys just heard that. He's right here. He was sniffing the microphone. Um, boy, we are not
We are
making a good
so
show.
off
This is a
track.
This is a catastrophe.
It's
I throw
okay.
that word around a lot, but this is real bad. Um,
It's okay.
I can't see very much of this, and the wire between the mouse and the the microphone is all
Read.
tangled up. I don't know. I was just gonna scroll around. I was just gonna scroll around to see if there was anything that jumped out at me about the play that I wanted to talk about because I know we watched it last night. One of the things about Hamilton is that it is very long. Um, it's 2 hours and 40 minutes if you want to watch it. That's like pretty comparative to Endgame, isn't it? Uh, Endgame is pretty long. Um, but I don't know. It is. Yeah, there are so many
I
things
wanted.
that are and aren't. You know
I have a question to ask you.
what?
How do you feel about the characters playing like different roles?
Okay, this is a really interesting point of conversation because I think it's really cool. First of all, there are a couple that you can pretty quickly pick out, and then a
Mhm.
couple that I actually didn't realize until recently, or at least didn't internalize,
Mhm.
which is Hercules Mulligan and James Madison.
Really?
I didn't. I never made that connection because their personalities are so different.
Yes, I can
Um,
understand where you're coming from because when you listen to it, like from the play,
and they're
from like
dressed differently.
yeah, well, from the soundtrack, when you hear it, Hercules Mulligan is like when he's singing, he's very forward. He's very like, he sounds like he's having fun.
Yeah,
But when you listen to him,
energetic.
yes, when you hear him play as James Madison, it's completely different.
It is.
There's a change, And when I first listened to it without seeing Hamilton and I listened to the whole playlist, I thought it was two different people. I like, oh, they sound very similar, but I could tell that David Diggs was Marquis de Lafayette and Thomas
And
Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson, yeah. Uh, and you can tell that when you watch it. But even when I watch it, it's difficult for me to go, oh, those two are the same people. Uh, Although, just like everything else in Hamilton, this like it's an onion. It's layers
Mm-hmm.
upon layers. Lin Manuel Miranda did an outstanding job of putting in all like every possible amount of symbolism, every possible piece of like um, sort of double entendre, but not the sexual kind necessarily. Aside from say no to this, and it's one of those things where the show opens with
Mm-hmm.
the song Alexander Hamilton, and it's we fought with him, we died for him,
Mm-hmm.
we loved him, and all the characters that are saying that are you know they the actors and actresses that are saying those lines, it works for both of their roles if they are someone that has two roles, like Lafayette being I fought with him, as in I fought alongside him, but as Thomas Jefferson fought with him,
Yeah,
as in
like fought with
yeah,
him in
exactly,
cabinet meetings.
which so much
Oh
fun.
my god, I think the cabinet battles have to be like my favorite bit. Like watching Hamilton, they have to be like my favorite because like just the way they interact on stage together,
Oh
and just
yeah, no,
like
video wise,
the
yes.
chemistry, watching the chemistry on stage is amazing. Like it's something like you see like on TV. Like you see people on TV shows and they act so well together. It's because it's their job. But like you see people who perform on stage and you're like, well, this is also their job, but they're also having like a lot of fun while doing it because they're doing something that they're passionate about, something that they
Yeah,
worked so
yeah.
hard for.
Well, I mean, you mentioned about the actors playing two different roles,
Mm-hmm.
and like I just have to say, you know what that's called? Good acting. You know,
Double time.
it is outstanding how they manage to do those roles and make them so distinct.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that I cannot tell that Hercules Mulligan and James Madison are played by the same person, even though I'm looking at them.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It,
really
it
good
it
acting, and
took
it's good
me
costuming, and it's good writing because they're so distinct. They're such distinct people, you
it
know?
also took me a while to realize that the man playing Hercules Mulligan and James Madison was the same person.
Yeah. I feel like
Like
that's
you
the
said.
easiest one to miss. I feel like that is maybe the easiest
It
one to
is.
miss.
It really is.
The other ones are not so bad. I mean, Lawrence has a very distinct face.
He
Uh,
does. He really
so
does.
when he shows up again as Philip, it's like, oh, hey, wait a minute.
That's a tall 9-year-old.
Yeah, that's a tall 9-year-old sitting at the little piano, uh, which is such a great other visual thing. Actually, in the cabinet battles, one of the things, like my favorite little bit, is James Madison being Thomas Jefferson's right hand man for the whole
Mm-hmm.
thing, and I think it's the first cabinet battle when David Diggs does the literal mic drop,
Mm-hmm.
and
And he
you
catches
think,
it.
yeah, you think you're just gonna drop it on the floor, but James Madison's hand's already there, like underneath it, knowing he's gonna do it, and I'm just like, oh, that is such good
I
choreography.
did notice that the second time, the when we watched it last night, I was like, oh, that's a nice touch.
I tried to pay attention to background stuff. Oh, this is another point which we probably didn't mention, which is we've now watched it twice, listened to it a zillion times, and we
Mhm.
did see it on stage.
Yes,
Um,
not original cast though.
no, but here in Providence when they came to visit, it was still very good.
It was still very good.
Um, and yeah, I mean, I've referenced my sort of what's the word? My affinity for Hamilton many, many times in the show because every time we have a musical that we reviewed, I was calling back to Hamilton. When we
Mhm.
talked about Beetlejuice, when we talked about the Johnny Depp one with the scissor hands.
No.
No, not scissor hands.
Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd. Well, he's got the blades. It's basically
Barber.
Like, I wasn't thinking scissor hands. I was thinking scissors in his hands, which is effectively When I said scissor hands, I did not mean Edward Scissorhands. I meant a man who has scissors in his hands. Uh,
This is going to be a long podcast. This is
we're
gonna
already
be,
a third of the way through. We're good.
this is good. I hope y'all are ready, strapped in, and have
Listen, if
popcorn.
they haven't left already, they're here for the next 40 minutes, I hope. Um, but I was trying to look
Buckle up,
at things
kiddos.
in the background, which is tougher to do when it's on the TV
Mm-hmm.
because they have it framed in a certain way. There is production to the filming in a way that a stage play is not. A stage play, you can look wherever you want. You can look all over the stage. You can look at whoever you want at any time. You can see the people walking around up on the rafters that are like the backup cast and whatever at all times, or even just the main cast but dressed differently to be other people or to be nobody. There's a lot of, especially at the beginning, there's a lot of Eliza out of costume, and it's just sort of her watching the show from up there. I noticed
Mm-hmm.
at least a couple of times. Um, and I was trying to keep an eye to those background things because I felt like, you can look at what's going on in front
Mm-hmm.
of you, but you can look at the other stuff too. At the end of, there's a couple of great moments after I Know Him where King George just sort of hangs around on stage for like a full other song,
He's
just
just
sort of
like
goofing off. It's
in the background,
so
just
funny. Yeah. But the one that really got me, and I know you keep trying to say something, so I'm sorry. I'll say this and I'll wrap up. Is in um the penultimate song, whose name escapes me, uh, where there's a shot of Hamilton is doing his monologue, and he's talking to Eliza, who is not present, but she is there. Um, like in the
oh,
middle,
like.
of the duel, after Burr has fired the shot. Um,
Oh, okay.
I don't remember the name of the song, but there are 10 things you need to know.
Yeah,
Um,
the reprise of Ten Commandments.
is that okay? Yeah. Um, that
I'm
might
just
be.
gonna open the playlist.
Yeah, please do. That's what I would have over here, honestly, because we're just gonna be talking about the song. Point is, there's a shot from Hamilton's perspective, looking at Eliza, and he says,
World was
"Oh,
wide
the world
enough.
was wide enough." What a good song, by the way. He says, "My love, take your time. I'll see you on the other side."
Mm-hmm.
And she steps away, steps out of frame, and it refocuses on Burr, who was directly behind her, with the gun pointed at Hamilton. It was a great shot. It was exactly what that moment needed.
Pinkman.
Fangman's playing with the things. Lafayette's under the desk. Chaos pandemonium. What were you trying to say?
Okay, so so thing like you're talking about things you noticed. I noticed that when they did close-ups of Burr and Hamilton, Hamilton's always like this at Burr. Like
Yes. Just like
especially in Aaron Burser when they're close and he's like, you punch the Burser, and he's like, yes. And
he has that very intense look through the entire
he
play.
does. Thank you. Also, King George's spit.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh my god, I saw a TikTok video and I need to find it. But
You're not gonna. You're not.
I'm
no.
not.
No,
No, I'm
don't.
not. I'm not gonna play it, but I gotta find it for you, and I'll show you it after.
You can just find it later. We're doing a podcast.
Ugh.
We're trying to do a thing. Like, at least when we do the regular show, they don't know you're not looking at the camera. Or, like, not even
another
here.
thing
Because there's some times we've been in the middle of shows and I've had to get up to do something and I've just gestured at Gloria, like, just vamp. Just keep talking. I'll be right back. Usually because, like, the pizza just showed up or something. Well,
I
what's in
also
my
wanted
calzone?
to talk about. I do too. I also wanted to talk about how Eliza's outfit changed.
Yeah, actually...
her outfit changed 3 separate times because she had.
Was it only 3? I
It
kept
was
thinking,
3.
like, wow, these are great outfits.
It was 3. It was 3 outfit changes because she was wearing the blue dress in
Right.
the beginning, and then she got pregnant and she had that weird looking dress to make her look like she was, fake pregnant.
Yep.
And then she had that final dress. and the final blue dress,
Mm-hmm.
and I
I think
was
she had at least one more
she
costume in
had
there
she
somewhere, like
had
pajamas
she
almost.
had the funeral outfit that was just like a
And that,
black,
yeah.
like an overcoat kind of,
Mm-hmm.
but you can tell she was wearing that blue dress underneath.
Listen, the styles are very cool.
I mean,
You know?
I'm not trashing it. I'm just saying.
No, I'm not saying you are. I don't know why I opened that sentence with listen. I'm just
But
you're
I'm saying, like, she had very good looks out of, like, I feel like everybody, because you know Angelica had two
her red
looks.
dress
Two looks.
that she
She had,
starts with.
yeah, she had like the copper kind of dress. It looked
Mm-hmm.
more copper.
Yeah, okay, I see where you're coming from.
And Peggy was only in two scenes, and then she turned into Mariah Reynolds. So,
Yeah, she anamorphed into Mariah Reynolds.
well,
Optimum Prime.
um, she turned into Mariah Reynolds. I said what
Yeah,
I
well,
said.
you know,
Um,
she didn't actually. What happened is she died.
yes, she did
Incidentally.
die. So fun. Actually, a fact of is when.
Can I tell this? Can I? Are you gonna say the fact about Rensselaer?
No.
Do I? Oh,
No.
okay. Keep talking then. Sorry,
So,
never mind. I thought you were gonna steal my
no,
story.
you can say that afterwards.
Yes.
So, when Philip Hamilton got shot by George Eaker, um, Peggy had already died.
Yes.
So
a couple months prior.
Couple months prior. So in that scene where Eliza comes running in, she's wearing that, that black outfit. It's supposed to be that she
was already in mourning.
She was already in mourning from Peggy being passed.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shelby, for that fun fact.
Yeah. Well, Eliza went through a lot. I mean, she lived to 97.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading her Wikipedia article, and honestly, she lived 50 years longer than Hamilton did.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I thought while I was reading her Wikipedia article, other than
how many children did her and Hamilton have?
Several, many. The thing that I thought, aside from damn, this woman's been through a lot, was I really appreciate the fact that this play probably introduced scores upon scores of people to this era of American history, or at least made them want to investigate it more, made them want to learn more, made them go, look at these people from our history. I might have heard about them or maybe read about them a little bit in social studies in 10th grade, but now let me really look at these. Let me really look at this.
So Eliza has two names. It's called either Eliza or Betsy.
Well, because they're both short for Elizabeth.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I honestly, I didn't really get that either, and then I looked it up. Eliza. Oh, okay, I get it. There are a lot of.
They had 8 children.
Yeah, they did, and they adopted one more too.
They had 8 children.
And the first and last one were named Philip.
Yeah, so there's Philip, and then they have Philip II.
Yep.
They have Alexander Hamilton Jr., Angelica Hamilton, James Alexander Hamilton, John Church Hamilton, William S. Hamilton, Eliza Hamilton Hawley, and then Philip Hamilton II.
The second.
Why does that have a different last name?
I don't know.
I know she didn't remarry.
No. You could probably click on her and find out. But the Rensselaers were a powerful family in upstate New York, so were the Schuylers. Peggy Schuyler married Stephen von Rensselaer, the founder of RPI, where I went to school. So that's a fun fact. Just a little bit of, connection into my own personal life to Hamilton's personal life, I guess it was. And I really forget where I was going with this whole thing, because I made like
that's
3
her married
detours.
last name.
Oh, wow, that makes a lot of sense. Why didn't we think of that?
She didn't have any children.
Sad.
I wonder if Philip didn't have any children.
Philip died at 19. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. With this musical made people learn about American history in ways beyond the musical itself. It made people want to learn about things. It made people want to do research on their own accord.
Angelica Hamilton never married and never had
Typical.
children.
Um, Alexander Hamilton Jr.
Did have did marry.
He was also a political individual.
He
Um,
died at 89.
I mean, I feel like the Hamilton family has pretty good genes. I feel like they would have lived a while. I feel like he would have lived a while if he didn't, get shot. Um, but you know what's an underrated song? Um,
James Alexander Hamilton married and had a few children.
did he?
Yes, he did. He
All right.
had Elizabeth Francis Alexander Jr., Mary, and
Angelica.
no wait.
They really recycle these names in this family. Um,
Yeah.
what the hell? Now I lost it. Um, History Has Its Eyes on You
Oh
is
yeah.
one of my favorite songs.
That is such a good song though. That the spinning stage.
The spinning stage is used so well.
I love how they use the spinning stage in um, Guns and Ships into History Has Its Eyes on You, where they're shipping out the letter to Alexander Hamilton that he needs to come back, that he's going to be in command. I like how they used the thing, and then how Hamilton stands on the part of the stage that rotates, and it's just like he comes into Washington's office.
He comes swinging around the whole stage into Washington's office.
I like how they use it to make it look like they're walking on like a sidewalk, like in Say No to This.
I was about to say in God damn it, the Schuyler Sisters.
Mm-hmm.
In the Schuyler Sisters, they get to keep walking.
Yeah.
And Burr gets to get out in front of them.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you were saying?
I like how they used it in like Say No to This, and they put like the lampposts on it, so they made it look like it was like she was walking in the street.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then they used it again when Hamilton brings her home.
Yeah.
Like they're walking, and she's like, "Oh, this light post is my home."
He takes her around the block.
That's a way to say it.
Well, he said he had to get his plan through Congress. He didn't say what kind of Congress. What?
You.
What? But that's a good thing to bring up, which is the way this is put together. I'm sorry if you didn't come here for an hour of us gushing about Hamilton. I apologize.
This is
but
what you're getting.
That's what you're getting.
This is what you're getting.
We're both giving it 5 stars. But no, the transitions from song to song are pretty much all fantastic, and they're all so short.
Mm-hmm.
They make incredible use of their stage. They don't have really any sets that come in and out, unlike to compare to the other stage play we've seen recently, Beetlejuice the Musical, where they have a couple of sets that they wheel in and out when they need them, and it makes sense. That's how you do a play. But Hamilton is just like, you have this balcony with the stairs, and the stairs can move around a little bit, but they're moving more during songs than during in between bits.
Remember when I said when George Washington was on the stairs and they were moving the stairs during nonstop, and I was like, I would shit myself. I would fall. If I was up on those stairs and they started moving them, I was like, I would fall.
Yeah, the stair starts tipping over. It's like, oh god. You need to be tied to the ceiling. You need to be harnessed in.
Yeah, tied to the ceiling, alright.
Okay. Okay. Calm down, Mariah Reynolds.
Jeez, not like that, but okay.
There's a okay. Anyway. Yeah, the way that the play is staged, the way that it segs from one song to the next, again, because there's very little speaking, there are very few breaks in the action. There are very few pauses to take a breath in the entire film, which part of it is why, holy crap, these actors and actresses, the stamina. Like, I know not everyone is in every song, but you have actors that are up there delivering these incredible bangers in relatively short succession.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I kind of wish I had the list of songs, because how close are 2 of Burr's big songs? I mean, Hamilton has, 3 back-to-back at the beginning.
It goes
but,
Aaron Burser, and then it goes Schuyler sisters, I guess, because that's Burr.
Well, no, hold on,
No.
because I'm just thinking like really, really, really big ones of his
Okay,
because
so it would
there's like
be Aaron Burr, and then
how
Dear
close is
Theodosia.
yeah Dear Theodosia? How close is Dear Theodosia to Nonstop? Where's Dear Theodosia?
Dear Theodosia
Is
and
Dear
Nonstop are
Theodosia and
right after.
Nonstop are next to each other? Those
Because
are
it's the
both.
transition. Because remember I was telling you about it. The scene. I love the scene. I love seeing them sitting there coinciding, and they're both singing about their children that they love so much.
It is a wonderful song.
I love that song so much. That's
Uh,
I think that's my favorite next to Your Obedient Servant.
and the thing is, yeah, it goes straight from that, which is the two of them duetting basically,
Mm-hmm.
um, to Nonstop, which is the two of them not exactly duetting, but they are both in a forward role in that song.
Mm-hmm.
And the stamina to be able to do all of these songs
But I mean,
and run around on stage.
yes, but I mean, um,
I know what.
Leslie Odom Jr. is also in a lot of the majority of the songs.
Oh yeah,
because he's the narrator.
that is also true. He gets a piece in many of the songs, probably
He-
most of the songs.
That he's literally credited in all the songs because he is the narrator of this story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it is Alexander's like view, but he is telling the story.
Some of the only songs that he is not in are the King George songs.
Yes, that is
Which
pretty
is
much
which
the
also
only-
are fantastic. And
the spit.
this bit, but remember we watched that video a while ago, which was the three of them synced up, and the only thing that was the thing they were aligned on was, what's the line he says in all three of the songs?
Oceans rise,
Thank you.
empires fall.
Thank you. It was just like gibberish, 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 gibberish. Oceans rise, empires fall, and then the other gap where only one King George gets to speak was him going, "Awesome, wow," which, goddamn, he kills it.
Yes.
There's a real good reason why, despite being ostensibly an overarching antagonist, he is like so many people's favorite character because he's just a large ham. What? What did you just see? What are you frowning at?
I'm not frowning. John Church Hamilton had multiple children.
Yes.
Um,
And half of those names are reused. There's
Yeah.
Laurens in there.
yeah, Alexander, Maria, Charlotte, John, Schuyler, James, another Maria, Charles,
Another Maria.
Robert, Adelaide, Elizabeth, William, Lawrence, and Alice.
Okay, the double name in there really makes me want to ask how many of those live past the age of 5, because
William S. Hamilton did
Uh,
not marry.
infant mortality was a real son of a gun in
Whoa.
those days. That's why you had to have 11 zillion kids. But anyway, there are a couple of interludes. We need to stop browsing through Wikipedia. We need to talk
I'm
about the show.
Just curious.
I know you're curious. So am I. I too do this. In fact, I would really love and I'm sure it's out there, but like a day by day of the American Revolution, of like what territories are conquered and whatever. I know how pivotal Yorktown was. I just wish I understood more as to how the battle worked.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's like, oh, we bring the British all up Chesapeake Bay, and then the ships come in behind them, and whatever. But I don't know the whole like troop arrangement and everything. I want to know more about that. What? What? He's got his squeaky. What?
Oh, okay. I didn't know what he had.
Or he's got something. I
I
think he has
heard
his
him.
bouncy bone.
I wanted to say how they say in the end in what's the name of the song? Not
Who lives, who dies, who tells you a story?
no. The world was wide enough. After Burr shoots Hamilton,
Mm-hmm.
he's like, now I'm the villain in your history book. I don't remember learning about Aaron Burr.
I don't really remember learning about Aaron Burr or Alexander Hamilton in school.
I do not. I remember learning about Alexander Hamilton, but I don't remember learning a damn thing about Aaron Burr.
Well,
But
you probably got mentioned if you learned about Hamilton. I mean, I'm not saying I remember everything from school because I don't. I had to read through 1776, and I'm sure there was a lot of this in there, but it was like the most miserable reading experience of my life, and I don't remember a
I
word of it.
I don't remember reading a word of Aaron Burr. His
To be honest, if I were to reread 1776 now, especially post Hamilton, I would probably enjoy it a lot more. I had to read the guy who wrote that, whose name escapes me, also wrote the Johnstown Flood, which is another. I mean, I'm gonna call 1776 excellent, even though I hated it. It's another excellent nonfiction work, and it's basically mandatory reading for all civil engineers. I had to read it for school. It's weird to read something like that for engineering school, you'd think, but it's not because we were doing a literary analysis. It's because we were doing an analysis of the conditions that lead to a catastrophic engineering failure. Uh, there is a well, there's your problem episode on the Johnstown flood, but I would kind of want to go back and reread that as well as go back and reread this. Somewhere I have a PDF of a bunch of this guy's books because I illegally downloaded it when I had to read the Johnstown flood and I was a poor college student and could not afford to like go and get a copy.
I also sorry.
No, it's okay. No, I'm just saying to end my sentence. It's a punctuation mark for me. Go ahead.
So the Bullet, the girl who plays the Bullet,
Is the best looking person in the play. What? You're not in the play. Otherwise, I'd be answering differently.
okay. The Bullet is literally. I mean, I know there's like tons of like background people to like fill in like the space,
Mm-hmm.
but she's the most active out of all the background people.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, and this is one of those things where it's like Lin Manuel putting layers on layers on layers.
It's like foreshadowing, basically.
She is the Fates. She is not the narrator, but an instrument of the plot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it is really interesting because she's the bullet, but also she's like passing letters around. She's the one who tells
George,
King George,
that James Madison,
John Adams.
John Adams, sorry.
I know him. Not the short, taller than James Madison though. I learned that last night. Uh,
Short King.
He was
He's a
short
short
president. But no, John Adams being like 5'6", and James Madison being 5'4".
George Washington being 6'2".
George Washington is 6'2". Abraham Lincoln is the tallest president at 6'4". So that's not including the hat. You know, I feel like he didn't have to wear the hat to be imposing and tall. He wore it because he liked a tall hat, I guess. Or maybe there was stuff in there. Hi, the cat is over there. But yeah, there's also an interesting. I mean, John Lawrence being killed in the battle after the war was won.
Yeah, that's sad.
For whatever reason, it brings me back to the New Orleans trip where they talked about the Battle of New Orleans, which was fought and won by the U.S. after the official end of the War of 1812, if I remember right. It was just one of these things that like information does not travel that quickly in these days,
Mm-hmm.
and even when you get into modern wars, not everyone knows that the war is ending at the same time necessarily. People that are far off or cut off from communication. And I say modern wars, but I'm thinking like up to World War II. The reason that people talk about, you might think it, oh, what an interesting coincidence that the First World War ended on 11/11, 11/11, like 11:11 a.m. on November 11th. What a strange, like, why did they choose a time instead of saying the war is over? They chose a time so that the war could end everywhere at the same time, so that there was time to get word to everyone that was fighting, so that nobody commits some accidental war crimes because the war is over, but you're still shooting.
Mm-hmm.
but that happened a lot in those days.
Of course it did,
Uh,
because
because it takes like 2 months to get word from England to Barbados or whatever, and it's like, oh crap.
wasn't he killed in North Carolina?
He was killed in North Carolina. I don't know why I used Barbados as an example. I just wanted a place in the Caribbean. Uh,
I guess we have to go to Barbados.
oh, okay, sure. Yeah, that's nailed it. Um,
Pinkman, stop trying to eat that.
Bankman is trying to attack the window shade thing, the drawstring for the window shade. Um, yeah. What's your favorite cut song?
Huh?
What is your favorite cut song? Like song that didn't make it in.
I don't know.
No, you don't know? Mine is definitely the John Adams rap.
I didn't listen to enough. To,
No?
I didn't know that there were songs that were cut out.
You know the John Adams rap.
I do know the John Adams rap, but I thought that was the only thing that was cut out.
No, there were a bunch of things that were cut out, and there were a bunch of like discarded versions of old songs.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a version of Burn called First Burn. I don't really remember the difference.
Oh, I think I do.
You've
think
probably heard that, and then um, shoot, what's the really famous one? Uh, it's it's about congratulations.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I know you've heard congratulations plenty of times.
Yes.
That's a really good one. But there's also
there's.
what?
I do. I think. I know it's gonna sound really messed up, but I think the reprise to Dear Theodosia that was cut out, showing that Theodosia's mother has passed away.
Mm,
It gives you the like Burr's like character change.
right. I mean, Burr's character doesn't really change that much.
Oh, I mean,
But yes, I know what you mean.
you know,
It gives more context for their familial situation.
yes.
And him, this man will not make an orphan of my daughter, even though his daughter is like 28 years old at this point, and I think estranged.
Probably
But
because.
she was like on a ship somewhere, if I remember right, at that point in time. Point is, Aaron Burr's a hell of a character, and he tried to like make his own country at one point later in life. He was kind of a crackpot. He just always wanted to be in the room where it happened, to the point where he went and tried to make his own room where it happened. He basically tried to have a coup. Yeah, he kind of lost his nut, but he never really had it, I think. Um,
What is some of what lyrics stood out to you the most? Because I know we talked about this yesterday while we were watching Hamilton.
so many lyrics in Wait For It. Personally, I feel like I am much more of a Burr than a Hamilton in that I want to walk the line on things. I don't want to be like, this is my stance and I stand by it. And there are some things that I will do that for, but more often than not, in a situation like that, I want to sort of play devil's advocate. I want to sort of understand people's point of views more than espouse my own, because nobody really gets anywhere by nobody learns anything by constantly just expounding what they believe.
Mm-hmm.
You don't gain anything from telling other people your way of life, or what you like, or what you think is cool or moral or just or whatever. Uh, you know, I like discussion more than debate. I like debate a lot, or at least I used to like debate a lot. I've got a award somewhere around here for debate, but I don't know.
In the kitchen.
For whatever reason, I can't stomach it anymore, and I'd really rather just be like very sort of introspective, very not passive, but like, hey, we have a disagreement, let's make this a learning experience, instead of we have a disagreement, let's fight to the death.
Okay.
Uh,
I also wanted to talk about how all the songs always come back to one another.
well, wait, did you have a lyric that stands out with you in particular?
Oh, yes. In my shot where Lawrence is like, till those in bondage are free, have the same rights as you and me. You and I do or die. Wait till I saddle in on a stallion with the first black battalion.
Yeah.
That, like, that whole like
That
piece, just
verse.
that whole verse just like shakes my soul. Like, to think that we've really come so far in history, but like it's just so crazy to me to think that people back then kept other people as slaves,
As property,
as
as you
property.
know.
And it's crazy to think that we've come so far as, as the, like, together as a whole, as like the world has come together and we've set those people free, but the world where, I'm
You
not trying
could.
to make this like a whole humanitarian thing, but
I mean,
like,
this play is inherently political. It does a thing on purpose.
but it's like, it's a shame that the world is reverting back to those old ways as well.
I mean, I don't feel like you can say that. I feel like you can say that there are still a lot of problems
There
because
is,
there are,
yes,
you
there are
know.
still a lot of problems in this world today,
But
and watching this play has, really made me realize that.
there are a lot of problems in the world today. But it is sort of a notion of how far we've come.
Mm-hmm.
It's a this is the way things used to be, and it wasn't good, and we've moved past that, and these were the people fighting for moving past that, and it's another step to make us recognize, well, what is wrong in our world now. Um, and it's just dealing with the animals. Uh, I don't know. It's a good point. There are two other interludes that I wanted to get to,
Mm.
actually, that I wanted to, because these are like my favorite bits of the song. Which, one of them, because it's so extremely well put together, is uh, Charles Lee's little diss of Washington, which is just a great little piece. I love hearing that when it comes up and singing that. And the other one is Hercules Mulligan in Yorktown. Because it's like, it's so like a, oh yeah, yeah, I can take on the
Hercules,
world.
the guy who plays Hercules Mulligan, has such a good stage presence. Like,
Yes.
watching him explode on the stage is just brings me so much joy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, watching this man just dance and perform, and just brings me so much. Also, I wanted to talk about the little dance little dancey dance that Hamilton does
When he gets married.
when he no, I think he gets it. He dances when he gets his blessing.
Same thing, really. I
Same
mean,
thing.
this, you know.
He
But yeah, when he gets the blessing, is
when
right.
he gets the blessing from Philip,
Senior.
senior, the girl, the Skylar's sister's father.
Mm-hmm.
He does this like dance, and I'm just like, okay, go off. But
Actually, their mother was also a Rensselaer. The two families were like this.
I did see something
yeah,
about Rensselaer on the Wikipedia article, though.
There were two very, very important families.
Mm.
But yeah, no, he does this little, like, almost like a stand-up worm sort of thing, pelvic thrust.
Mm-hmm.
It's very funny. Um, man, there's so much of this
There's
play
so
that we
much
haven't
play
talked
to
about.
discuss.
We haven't. I just looked at this, and it's just like moving to London with her new husband, and I'm just thinking of like, it's quiet uptown, and it's just like, oh no.
Angelica and Hamilton actually didn't have like a relationship.
No, not as far as anyone in history knows. You know.
Apparently she was already like had a suitor lined up to be married,
Mm-hmm.
and actually, you told me that Hamilton was the last one of the four to get married.
He was. He was the last one of the four to get married. There are. We could spend an entire hour talking about you could call them historical inaccuracies, the artistic liberties that the play takes.
But I do like the way that they did it, because I feel like the reprise to Raise a Glass wouldn't be the same, because they were like, "As if the tomcat can get married,"
Yeah, no, it's a great little song. God damn it, what is it called? It's it's the Story of Tonight reprise.
Yes.
It is a great little song. I like it a lot. It's of the two, I think it's the better one
I
the regular one of the
personally
reprise.
like Your Obedient Servant. I think that has to be my favorite song.
And we've come full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Why?
Because I like the spin that the vibe that it has to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
A little sinister.
when you play it, you got that skip that you get when you're mixing in the
Mm-hmm.
studio. You get that I don't know what that's called, but it's just the scratch of the record,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have Burr coming in, and he's mad,
Mm-hmm.
he's pissed off, and then along with watching it, you have the background people delivering the letters, and then you have Hamilton sitting at his desk writing down,
Yeah.
and you have
Itemized
you
list
have
of 30 years of
you
disagreements.
and when he says that line, you have all the dancers coming dropping off the
Yeah,
pieces of paper to Burr. It's an
it's
amazing
awesome
song, and
choreography.
it flows together, and it shows the opposites of Burr and Hamilton. It shows that Hamilton is a well written man and has to get his point across, but Burr is also the same way, but
It's
he can get his point across with one piece of paper.
it's less that they're opposites and more that they're two sides of the same coin. You know?
I feel like the reason why they clash is because they are alike.
Mm-hmm. Oh, certainly. Uh, and
What are you
another little
doing?
another he's eating my speaker cables again, I'm sure. Um, another little
I
thing.
think there might
What
be
is the
squeaky.
first thing that Burr does with Hamilton?
I want to say brushes him off.
No, 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 no. Like the first thing they do together. What does he say to him? Can I get you a drink?
Yeah, can I buy you a drink?
Mm-hmm. What is the first thing he does after he kills Hamilton?
Gets a drink.
It was another one of those little things where he goes, "Oh, I get a drink," and I went, "Hey, wait a minute! Like he did that before."
Mm-hmm.
Again, everything in this entire musical is
I
just like
just, I just,
perfectly laid out.
I just thought of the interaction that Burr and Hamilton have in between the story of Tonight reprise,
Mm-hmm.
where he's like, where Lawrence is like, well, I heard you got a little someone on the side, Burr. And
Is
then,
that so?
what are you trying to hide, Burr? I should go. No, these guys should go.
What? No, leave us alone, man.
It's
Yeah, the
alright.
drunken band of
Yeah.
idiots. Well, the other thing about he was the last of the four to get married, and you even have a couple of little moments, particularly during the war, where you have the five of them together,
Mm-hmm.
which is a great little five-man band, and I would watch an entire like series of the five of them tooling around the American Revolution. But, I'm sorry, I know you wanted to say something. We'll come back to it in a second. I want to do another artistic liberty, which is that they probably never were all in the same place at the same time.
No, definitely
Um,
not.
they definitely didn't have this grand meeting as they do in the play. The interactions were probably very different and much more formal. Um, Eliza hosted dinner party after dinner party, especially when,
All the men were.
especially after Hamilton became Washington's aide, because she is a high society woman from a high society family, and that's what they do. They go to balls, they host dinners, that sort of thing. Um, and she might have met, they might have met all of these people individually, or they certainly did meet all of them at one point or another, or collaborated with them, etc. But not, they were not,
They were
all hanging
never-
out in the pub together like, oh, let's do the revolution.
No. I wanted to say how
You're already at 58 minutes.
I wanted to say how Hamilton yelled at Washington for calling him son. I wanted to theorize,
Daddy
is that because he has daddy issues?
Yes. Definitely. I mean, yes. His dad left before he was, his dad made him and pieced out. He doesn't want to be called son. He's nobody's son. And the father-son dynamic between Washington and Hamilton is one of the really, sort of interesting lines to trace through the back half of this play.
I didn't get to finish my thought from earlier.
Sorry, what was it?
About in the interaction between Burr and Hamilton, where he was like, "It's unlawful, sir," and he was
Oh, we just started singing. That's right.
she's married to a British officer, and he's like,
Oh.
"Oh shit,"
Yeah.
and that. I mean, I know it's practiced, but it's like that seemingly real reaction, the
Yeah.
shock because like you're hearing this hot goss from one of your supposed gal pals,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh shit, really?
Gal
What?
pals.
What?
I love you.
I love you too.
I want hot goss. I like hot goss.
I know you
I,
do.
I like hearing the revolutionary hot goss.
Is there anything else you want to add before we end this? Because we
5 stars.
5 stars.
5 stars.
What's
it's
next?
it's the thing that got me into musicals. What's next? I don't know. We're gonna keep making this show.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, good. Like, hold on. Let me go to the freaking list. I was gonna pick something wacky, honestly, but I don't know what.
Remember, I just bought a whole bunch of.
You did, but none of the
We
like
have
they're all
John
on my
Wick.
list.
I think John Wick's on here.
John Wick, yeah, that's a you movie though.
Yeah, but we can pick each other's movies.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna. Okay, I might. Oh, I'd like to find a way to watch Pleasantville. I wonder how we can watch that.
Let me look it up.
Oh, did you already put in 5 stars for the both of us? Yes, you
no,
did.
that was from when.
Oh, that was from when we watched it the first
That's
time.
from when we had it on the piece of paper and we transferred it over to the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
That piece of paper is still upstairs on the reel to reel.
Yeah, good. I kind of wanted to do Unstoppable. I don't know how to watch Unstoppable, but I want to do that. To get back into the swing of things, we'll do like the modern Fomer movie. I should put more Fomer movies on this list. Anyway.
Unstoppable was
What?
was where I was
watching on YouTube, Redbox. All right, I'm gonna have to go find it at the library. Anyway.
I think after your movie is going to be Steven Universe.
Oh yeah, we've got to get back to that. Yeah, we finished the series.
Yeah, we did, and now we.
Well, that's right. That's what it was supposed to be. We were supposed to. That was the order. It was going to be Hamilton, and then something, and then Steven Universe.
I think you wanted to watch St. Vincent.
I might have wanted to watch St. Vincent. I don't.
Or,
I really don't remember.
Or you wanted to watch that movie with Adam Driver and Bill Murray.
Oh, Dead Don't Die. Oh man, it's such a not good movie. It's so not a good movie.
That's what you wanted to watch. I think that's what it was.
I think you're right. I think I'm gonna have to think about it. But for now, maybe Unstoppable if I can get it at the thing. Maybe something else. I love you. Thanks for tuning into this extra long live episode.
Thank you for tuning into this
we
chaos-filled...
will go back to your regularly scheduled programming, number one, and number two, it done in a regular fashion. Because
yes, no more of this. Because
until 50 episodes from now.
Because I promise you, if I get sick on the 100th episode of this show, I will do this episode sick. I will do the episode sick. I mean,
it doesn't really matter anymore. We're way off schedule. We're not catching up.
Whatever.
You know, we're not going to be doing like the 50 episodes in line with the other thing. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week, I think. I hope.
Yeah, pretty sure. Bye.
Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I forgot how I'm supposed to end this podcast.
Bye.
Bye.